Good afternoon from Doug's Urban Garden, where we try to do things in a more friendly way, in an urban way, so that you can plant vegetables, whether it be in your backyard, like here in my house, here in southern New Mexico, West Texas, in raised beds, which are really raised because they're up off the ground, or we're going to show you how to do it in pots. So you can do it on your balcony, your small patio, or whatever space you have available. All right, so today we're going to talk about planting onions. Onions have been around for centuries. It's part of every household cooking cuisine. Now, there's 600 different varieties of onions. That includes bulbs, bunching onions, or what we also call green onions, and shallots. So let's talk about bulb onions. Today, all the bulb onions are divided into three categories, and it depends on the number of hours of daylight you have. Now, short day onions have a daylight hour of 10 to 12 hours. Medium or intermediate onions is 12 to 13, maybe 14 hours. Long day onions have 14 or more hours of sunlight every day. So that's how they're broken up. Also, you need to choose the one for your area. And you can go online and get your zone from USDA Agriculture, type that in, and ask what kind of variety or species of onions works in your area. So today we have intermediate onions, and we're going to plant two kinds. We're going to plant bulb onions, and we're going to plant store-bought onions. We're going to plant bulbs, and we're going to plant seeds. These are all ways that you can take and plant your onions to get ready for the kitchen. Now, first off, these are Texas Grandi, onions. And they make a nice round bulb. But here's the thing. When you buy, and we'll talk about this some more, when you buy bulbs like this from the big box store or your feed store or your nursery, all it said was yellow onions. Which one of the 600 is it? You don't know. So if you buy seeds from a seed company, you can specify what daylight time you have in your zone and what size of onion you want, or what flavor, yellow, sweet, or white, red, whatever you like. Now my wife likes the yellow onions, so I planted these. These, as I said, are Texas Grandes. And I planted these from seeds back in September. They've been outside. Onions are very, very prolific and very sturdy. They can take the cold. We've had, look at these. 2 nights ago, it was down to 29 degrees here, first thing in the morning. And they're wonderful. Onions are strong and sturdy. So let's get started here. Let's pull some of these out. Now, there's a number of ways you can plant. Now see, we have great roots. In fact, we should have planted them a couple of weeks earlier because they're rooting so much. But let's pull them apart, just like this. And you're going to hear roots breaking. Don't worry, they got plenty of roots. And they're very prolific, very strong, and they'll come right back. So we're going to take these apart. Now you notice I have a plastic glove on. That's because I cut my finger here a few days ago and I don't want it to get infected. So I'm wearing a plastic glove. Usually I don't do that. All right, here, we're just going to put them in a trench. Lay them in this trench about 4 inches apart. And then we're going to backfill them in. Let me get a few more here. so we can fill up this trench. And you want to plant them about 2 inches deep. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just move the dirt over and fill them in. All right, now we're going to do some Patterson. This is another very prolific, gives you a really nice bulb. Always mark what you did so you remember what you planted and where you planted it. So we're going to take these. Now I grew these in 6-packs because I was trying a new experiment this year. Most of the time I grow them in these start my seeds in these 4-inch pots. So once again, we're going to take them apart. And you can hear maybe the roots tearing. Don't worry, got plenty. Now there's another way you can plant these seeds, what we call transplants or starters. You can make a hole. Let me show you. Now, I use just a piece of wood dolling. Stick it in the soft soil and make a hole. Now, you can buy from your nursery or on the seed catalog what they call a doubler. I just looked one up. $38 for a stainless steel doubler. It's beautiful. I give them that. $38. A 3-foot piece of wood dolling cost me less than $2. So basically, where do you want to spend your money? Let's go finish the 1 row of holes. You just push them in the ground, in the hole, and then we're going to come back and fill it all in. Now, like I said before, you can go to the big box store and get these starters, just like these that I've grown from seeds, but I had a choice. Here you don't have much of a choice. So what you're going to do, and this cost me $5.50, $6. And what you do is, because they've been out of the soil, out of water, just take and put them in a pan or a bowl of water for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If you go more than 3 weeks, you're going to start seeing, like right here, they're going to start growing, which is just fine. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to stick them here in the soil. Now, all we know about these are yellow onions. What variety? Don't know. And that's the disadvantage. You really don't know what you're getting. And if you start from seeds, it's going to be a lot less money. A pack of seeds is, you can get them for $2 up to $3 depending on where you buy them. All right, now we're just going to fill it in like we did the other ones. Now, one other way you can start your onions. These are bulbs. Now, the interesting thing is, where's my holes? The interesting thing is, see, for $2, I saved $38. Just making my holes about 4 inches apart. All right, as you can see, they're starting to sprout. So you put them pointed end up, and you see these are pretty dry. That one is. So we're gonna go get another one. Now again, all it said on the bag was they were yellow onions. Didn't give the species. And you want to plant them here about 2 inches deep. And you can see we have, they're all different sizes, which isn't a problem. Just I would like to have them all the same unified size. And now we're just going to cover them up. And we're going to put a tag in there. Okay. These were store-bought onions. These are bulb onions here. Now, another way you can plant onions is from seeds. And we're going to plant a row of seeds. Now, here's the challenge with seeds. And this is why I start mine back in September, October in 4-inch pots, because I can sprinkle a few, spread them out. But once you put them in a row, you want to take and set them down 4 inches apart, which is almost impossible unless you take one little bitty seed at a time and put them 4 inches apart, which we're just going to go back and fill in a little bit. Now here's the thing, as these come up, they may be too close together. You need them about 4 inches apart. So what are you going to do? You can start pulling them up and get them to be 4 inches apart and use those young onions just like these here or these here. You can use these as green onions. Now, as I said, onions are 600 varieties. We planted what we call starters, we planted bulbs, we planted seeds. Now let's go plant some green onions, also called bunching onions. Let me show you one thing. Let's take some here. We are going to show you how to plant in a pot so that if you have a small planting location or patio, small back porch, small yard, you can still plant that should be enough. Okay, let's go over here to a pot that I got and plant some onions in a pot right here on my back porch. So what do you want to do? You're just going to take in the nice soft soil, dig a little hole, put them down 2 inches about 4 inches from the edge of the pot, about 4 inches apart. And you can put 8, 10 onions in here. And right there on your patio, your balcony, your porch, you're going to get some nice, beautiful onions. Okay. See how nice that is? Right there in a pot. Good sized pot, good soil. You just water it in. Now we're also going to do, in a small wooden container that I built out of some scrap wood, we're going to do some green bunching onions. Now, here's the thing with bunching onions that I love. You don't have to be too careful how close you put them together. I think that's why they call them bunching onions. They're going to be all bunched up. And you just spread them around. As they grow, you're going to start harvesting them, and that will help thin them out. Okay. So let's put a little dirt on top. You want to put about no more than 1/4 of an inch of soil on top, and you're going to have to keep it nice and moist. Yeah, put a little bit more on it. It should be nice, loose dirt. No rocks. There's a rock we'll get rid of. Level it off. Now all we have left to do today is water. Oh, we're taking water all this in. Go over this a couple of times. Water today. Water again first thing in the morning. Water our bulbs and our transplants. And then later on today, or first thing in the morning, I'll finish planting this whole box with onions. Now, how do you know your onions are getting big? Because like potatoes, they pretty much grow underground. Here's the key. Onions grow in layers. I'm sure everybody has sliced onions and the layers start falling apart. There's 13, in a perfect onion, there's 13 layers. There are also 13 leaves on top. So if you get 13 leaves, you're doing great. You're going to have nice size onions. Make sure your soil is well fertilized. They're heavy feeders. So later on, probably in about 3 weeks, we're going to give them a side dressing of some fertilizer, most probably 13-13 or 10-10-10, to give them a little boost of nitrogen, phosphate, and potash. So there you have it, friends. Here from Doug's Urban Garden, southern New Mexico, West Texas, onions, very prolific, very sturdy, very hardy, can take a freeze. Start the seeds like we did here back in September, October. Let them sprout and grow all winter long. Early spring, you can plant them in a full bed, and wait another 90 days, you're going to have some nice onions. Now, some people have been asking, what are these hoops for? Thought they were irrigation system with a sprinkler system. No, the hoops I use if I'm having lettuce or spinach and it's going to get down really, really cold. I have some shade cloth that I put over them to protect them from the frost. Also during the summer when we get to 105, 107, sometimes 112 degrees here in southern New Mexico, West Texas, I pull shade cloth over, cuts the sun down by 50% and helps keep them cool, and so the vegetables continue to grow. So, but that's it from today for Doug's Urban Garden. We got into some serious planting here, and now it's the waiting game. All we have to do is wait to see how things grow for a bountiful harvest. So plant them in your raised beds, your soil, your backyard, in your planters and your pots, and get started gardening, because fresh vegetables right out of your own garden is so rewarding, not only because the taste is there, so relaxing mentally, and getting out and as they say, getting your hands dirty is just so rewarding. So have a great day from Doug's Urban Garden, southern New Mexico, West Texas. Thank you.